right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you back. Hope everybody's having a great trading session. As great as you can have when it's like nothing happening. Wait, hold on really quick. Okay, this is from yesterday. Let me go ahead and put that over there. We grab the bias chart this morning, and we're going to get started with our analysis. So let's start off with the euro dollar. Here's the E-mini futures. E-mini futures are still bouncing. They're clinging on to anything right now, and Eurogroup, EU officials still say that there's no offer on the table. That's from Bloomberg. Eurogroup prepares emergency plan if Greece rejects offer. The 5-month extension plan. They're going to remember it's about Greece accepting the offer. There's a lot of, I mean, Greece can accept any deal. Like I said, it's kind of like. It's like if you guys missed the analogy a little bit earlier, it's kind of like being at a car dealership and seeing that really pretty car, and of course they know you're a subprime person to lend to, but they're willing to lend you the money at a really high rate just so you can get that pretty shiny new car. Same thing with Greece, hey, they're willing to lend Greece the money, just it's just the terms. Are they going to be right for Greece? And that's what I think the real question is moving forward. But the stock market's responding, to that regardless. Whoops, not euro yen. What am I talking about? Euro dollar. Let's go to the euro US dollar here. Okay, so here's the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is not moving at all. It's been very quiet around this 112. We had drawn that out yesterday if we ever broke out there. I still think that's correct. Let's see here. I think the way we have to look at it is if the euro for some reason starts to spike higher, if we get an opportunity to sell the euro dollar, if we get the opportunity to sell the euro dollar at 113.50, that's going to be a really hell of a good trade. Okay, I'm just going to draw that out for you. Now, if the euro breaks down and we get an opportunity to buy it down here at 110.50, that might be equally just as good of a trade. And I'm really talking more about over the course of the next, if there's a spike today for one reason or the other, I think at this stage in the game, the dollar's starting to make some headways, huh? The Kiwi's hitting new lows. Looks like the Aussies hit new lows. Dollar yen's firming up a little bit. There's the Aussie hitting new lows. Like I said, the Kiwis hit new lows too. Pound's getting close to lows. Nordic currencies are firming a little bit. People are just looking for reasons to trade at the moment, and right now the dollar's pretty firm. The euro's not moving a whole lot. Okay, so I think this is these are our parameters still. $112.30, 111.35. Okay. 111.35. It's key support. Resistance 112.30. Okay, and that's it. It's really I think what you have to wait for as far as the euro goes, and we are in a range trading environment, and be careful chasing the euro dollar. Like I said, I think selling the euro dollar up at 113.50 would be great, and being able to be on the long side of the euro dollar, somewhere down here, 110.50 would probably be great as well, as long as it's not uh, as long as it's not uh, a a hard yes or no. Okay. Actually, you know what I would be thinking here, which would be more likely. Let's assume Greece agrees to some sort of deal, which again, the finance minister's meeting tomorrow is tomorrow. So they're gonna, if there's an agreement, it would probably be tomorrow, I would suspect. However, maybe they do try to push something through today, and they say, okay, we'll accept the agreement. We may rally in the euro dollar, but again, it has to pass through Parliament. So any rally back up towards like 113.50 would probably be a good short. That would be my thoughts. All right, let's go over to the pound. Here's the pound dollar. Pound doing nothing. This is drawn yesterday. I'll just draw it again here today. I'm just going to move everything over. Right? Do the exact same thing from yesterday. We're just going to move it on over though. Support being at 156.60. Okay. And resistance being at 158. Try not to get wrapped up into these headlines, guys. Okay. Let's the euro is trying to firm. It's moving up against the euro. New Zealand's moving higher. Actually, hold on really quick. I'm gonna see something. Just give me a second. Since we're getting a little bit of activity, stand by. Actually, you know what? Let me just remove everything. Stand by. That's not what I wanted. God, it's tempting to short that Euro Aussie, isn't it? That is tempting right there. This is really tempting. George, if you're not seeing my charts, everybody should be able to see the Euro Aussie right now. Randall can see it. It's very, very tempting at this very moment. I'm contemplating selling into the strength here, just as a little intraday trade. I'd rather not sell the Euro New Zealand at the moment. You know what? I'm going to short a little bit of the Euro Aussie. I'm going to put in a stop very close, like 15 pips away. I shorted it at 04. I'm putting my stops above 20. I'm not going to stick around very long. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I'm not a believer of this move. I don't. But I don't want to short the euro because the euro is not moving anywhere. I just wanted. I want to short some of these crosses. Maybe I almost was thinking the euro yen would be a decent short here too. Aussie's hitting new lows, and this Aussie's weak today. Okay, I'm just gonna sit in that euro Aussie for a minute. I got to get through this analysis though this morning. Let's go to the dollar yen, or I'm sorry, the Swissy. So the Swissy has obviously been pretty weak. The you got to be careful with the Swissy. It You can see how it broke through support overnight, and I think a lot of that you can see the euro. It's probably the Euro Swiss too. Euro Swiss came off. I mean, people are worried. I mean, when they're worried, they don't want to own. They don't want to own the. They don't want to own. Or they want to own Swiss francs. They want to. They don't want to be short the Swiss franc, especially if things are getting a little concerning. And I think that's exactly what happened here with the dollar Swiss. The dollar Swiss is looking, kind of strong, and then all of a sudden it went, boop, the Swiss saw a lot of strength until we get past Greece. Like if let's say for example, there is an agreement in the there's an agreement that is for a 5 month extension for Greece. First thing I'm going to do is, if that does happen over the weekend, I'm going to go out and buy the Euro Swiss and Dollar Swiss and Pound Swiss, and if it passes through Parliament and that is the deal, I'm going to go sell some Swiss francs, but not until then. And I think people are a little worried that maybe the situation might come unhinged a little. So the Swissy is going to be very challenging. Let me remove all these lines here on the Swissy. Um, that false break yesterday really, probably caught a lot of traders covering. You know, stop there for a second. So basically, we're struggling at that 618 retracement. You can see it right here. Just bounced right to the 618. Really stalled there. Um, Obviously, 94 cents is really key resistance, and support's probably going to be down here at 92.50. I know we've written down those numbers quite a bit, but let's just keep it at that. Let's go to the yen. And dollar yen seeing a little bit of a bounce as we held support once again. This is from yesterday. Obviously, that support stuck. Okay. Also, you'll notice, see this? See that? We drew that yesterday, right? That held really, really well. I'm still short at 90. My cost average is 123.98 from a couple of days ago, so I'm still short. I covered all the other yen pairs overnight. Um, there's a lot of congestion up here. Back at 123.80, right through here. $23.25, $23.80. It's key support. Okay, let's go look at the dollar Canadian. Okay, I'm going to delete everything here real quick. Sometimes you just need a fresh look at everything, and this is one of those times, especially with the dollar Canadian. Dollar Canadian's been very, I would say it's been very um, obedient technically, for quite some time. I mean, here, let me grab a pen really fast, and I'll just show you what I mean. We had our double top, neckline, target hit, reversal, back at the neckline, resistance pretty much held, so like I said, it's been very obedient technically. I think this is a fresh perspective, but probably a very good perspective about the dollar Canadian. We're probably looking at a nice consolidation here, and I don't know if this lower trend line is drawn like this or like that, but I will say that we're probably getting ready for a breakout. We're poised for a breakout here. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen right at this very moment in time, though, because it's a daily chart. What we'll have to probably pay a little closer attention to is this downward sloping trend line here in the coming days, especially with crude oil a little weaker. And I meant to tell Paulie he did a really great job with crude oil yesterday. the Canadian rallies from current prices. I mean, we're at 123.50, so we got, well, that's a long way to go. Seems like. Sorry, guys. I was just looking at the Euro Aussie as well. Okay, that's a 4 hour. So here's an hourly chart. What are we dealing with currently? I mean, I guess for right now, and this is very, very minor stuff. This 124.20. This support's going to come down here at 122.75. I doubt today we're going to see either one of these range support or resistance. I doubt it, but in case we do, and notice how we're smack dab in the middle, which, you know, 124.20, 122.75. I'm just going to leave it at that. 122.75, 1.2420, and we're in a range, but you can see it's tightening up pretty well, which means that there's probably a bigger breakout coming, soon. All right, let's go into the Kiwi really quick, and then we're going to take a break. All right, so the Kiwi showing some signs of weakness here. Okay, so there's a couple things. Yesterday we broke through the support. Remember we drew this out yesterday here, and we said, okay, if we break above 69.20, it's a breakout to the upside. 69.25 or whatever we wrote down. Support through 68.80. We broke through that support after the RBNZ's comments. That's really kept the bearish, trend intact. So let me delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay, delete that. Let's delete these really quick for now. Okay. Now, the question is, how far do we go in this move lower? We just passed through the 618, so really next support comes in at 68.38, and now you have to look at this. See this trend line that held us? That's going to be a gift at this point if we rally back to 69 cents. So for a short. Eric, you were asking, oh, well, shouldn't we short the Kiwi? Well, if it gets to 69 cents, I think it's a great place to establish a short, right? And support comes in at 68.38. Okay. When I come back, we'll do the Aussie and the dollar index and any other currencies we see out there. All right, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Hey, I got stopped out of the Euro Aussie for a quick 16 pip loss, but I might actually step back into that. Not right at this very moment. Maybe another 20 pips higher if it can reach. You can see the Euro Aussie. What it's doing is it's really extending its legs and probably will get up towards the 618 or the 786 towards this previous support. I'm just kind of searching for something to do today, and this looks like these look like viable trades, but then again, I probably shouldn't even be trading today, just because it's obviously very choppy at the moment. Let's go into the Aussie dollar and let's see what happened with the Aussie, because the Aussie actually broke through some support here. We had this trendline support from yesterday, and you can see how we didn't support there. We didn't hold that support at 76.80, and now we're breaking down through some horizontal support. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna delete everything really quick. Okay. It's the resistance we had written down, and this is the support that we had written down. Now, what I'd like to do, see how this horizontal support here. See, that's a 786 retracement that we're coming into for the Aussie. Um, so this horizontal support, if it doesn't hold in the Aussie dollar, we're going to slump all the way to 76. So, and that comes in at 76. Let's just call it 76.40. And it's interesting because with equities as strong as they are, or as much of a bounce as we've seen, it's surprising to see that the Aussie and the Kiwi haven't really responded. They've been more, they've been both very weak, both of them. So anyway, there's support here, resistance. Hold on really quick too. Well, now that we get any spike back up towards 77.20, that's going to offer some resistance now. And we are in a big range. We're just getting towards the lower end of our range in the Aussie. Let's go into the dollar index really quick. Dollar index is super quiet here. 95.70. I think that's the same number we had written down yesterday. And really, any move back down, I want to say back down here is going to offer us some support here on the daily chart, but yeah, it's a long distance away. 94.90 to 95.60. And we are in a range. Okay, let's take a look at the peso. And, oops. Wow, look at the peso. I mean, we're probing the 6-1A right now. I mean, and the peso looks strong here. Doesn't look like it's going to stop. The hourly chart's getting pretty overbought here, but it still looks strong regardless. But I don't see any like really good setup either. Might be a bit of an ascending wedge, but let's take a look at the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. Wow, this thing looks like it wants to bust higher too. This one is, if you see the euro break lower, you have to automatically turn over to the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. But I know I've said that since like yesterday, but the euro's been stuck at 112 since yesterday as well. So um, Swedish krona. Oh, look at this thing. Look at that pair just wedging higher. That thing looks like it's going to break out. That really does. I can't, for those of you that know, MB trading limits my ability to trade the Swedish krona anymore ever since the Swiss National Bank um, removed its peg. The Because of the risks of some of the Nordic currencies of um, the margin requirements just happen to increase on a lot of these Nordic currencies, so I can't trade them. But if you can, watch out. If the euro breaks higher, the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona, the U.S. dollar Swedish krona, they both look very, very bullish. Like they want to stage a bullish U.S. dollar move. All right. So here's your bias chart. I'm going to go ahead and take some questions.